know if you noticed in this Reigns interview, early on, it sounded like they had like a guitar amplifier, you know?
What happened was Reigns was getting fed his lines during the interview, and it was getting picked up on the mic.
And then like they're like trying to turn it down, but the problem is they're also turning down the the microphone volume, so you hear like a couple words like fade out.
There's Tyler Warner and Wade Church.
Yes, and it never ceases to amaze me how it seems like whenever there's a Roman Reigns promo or interview, something seems to go wrong one way or another. That was obviously the intro they're referring to, a couple weeks ago when they had Raw taped from, WWE World Headquarters, of course. Now,
I still can't believe the one comment he brought up. I think it was an interview in that.
Are you talking about a couple weeks ago?
No. I'm trying. Was that an interview? No, but he brought recently that the whole Superman punch in that. It's like, and he said, "Well, I invented the Superman punch in that," and I was like, really? So you invented Superman?
Yeah.
A comic that was formed in all the way back in 1938.
Yeah.
It's the name's called Superman Punch, so clearly it's reference to Superman the comic. So you can't really say you invented it or you originated it.
Yeah. Now, I guess where I was going with that little introduction there was, the opening of Raw, which of course, began with Roman Reigns, who was, he was it seemed to be cutting a decent promo until he said that at WrestleMania he was going to go on to beat Brock Lesnar. And then, and then of course I guess he, correct. It was another case of the, the Declare and yeah, and it's a shame, it's just it was a good, it was a promo that was kind of showing some promise.
Like I said,
something always seems to go wrong.
Obviously, this guy's gonna get the push. He's gonna get the belt.
Yeah.
But I am just curious. Because like I said, let's be fair. This company has pushed many people in the past.
Right.
And they turned out to be flops in the end.
Yeah.
And it's going to make me it's going to be intrigued when this guy finally gets the belt and the reins, no pun intended, to the company. I mean, hell, he always says deep end, it's best on the deep end. I mean, I look back in that interview and I'm almost like, so are you saying that your father intentionally tried to drown you when you were a kid? Just threw me in the deep end. I didn't know how to swim. Got to learn your own, son. Yeah. It's I don't know. Just go back to some of the comments on that Studios interview, but it's gonna be. I'm just intrigued at if this guy's gonna be able to float or he's just gonna sink pretty much.
Yeah. Sink or swim.
Yeah. I don't want to say he's going to sink like the Titanic. It may soar like the Hindenburg. And then, which of course will golf in flames and, and kill thousands of people on the way. I mean, once again, I think I'm sticking with my prediction that that is going to change. It's still going to be seen as the focal point. Granted, he has taken kind of a back seat. Hell, even
now and then,
even in the Raw intro, the focal point of the Raw intro video that I noticed was Reigns actually, not Cena. So it's clear that they're already in this transition period where they want to phase Cena slightly out a bit and put Reigns in. Well, I say good luck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see what merchandise sales say and what if the kids are still gonna switch from Cena to Reigns easily just like that, or they're just gonna stay loyal to John for like another year probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, in the responses in recent weeks, at least from the crowds, I mean, the positive response, obviously, comes from women and children, it seems.
Like I said, he's John. It's going to be, which I think is already a bad start for his rank. He
hasn't even won the belt yet.
He hasn't even won the belt yet, and people already look to see him to be the next John Cena.
Yeah.
I don't know if people can handle John Cena 2.0. I think that's really, some people, that's where the limit will draw.
Yeah.
And the fact that, his promos, it sounds like going to be more about, people paid the hard-earned money. They can say whatever they want to say that, everybody's right to their opinion. It's like, do you not sound like John Cena? You know what I mean? Like do something, not to mention the jokes. Good God. And Brian isn't going to pass in this promo either here, because he comes out and jokey and so on.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, Brian's a company guy.
Yeah.
Brian doesn't. It's not like Brian actually fights for himself backstage, and that he's not CM Punk.
Yeah.
he's a guy who he gets fed something, he'll do it.
Right.
It was like he was the guy pushing for his main event push last year. The company just gave into it, and Brian's just like,
Right.
okay, it's your company. I'll go off the run, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only time I've ever heard him like actually verbally defend himself was when he had that injury against Orton, and Triple H called for the end of the match, and Brian was pissed, and he walked back and he had like an verbal argument with Triple H backstage, and they almost like supposed to be about to go toe to toe pretty much in that.
Yeah.
So, and that shocked people because Brian's kind of like this cool, calm, relaxed guy, kind of like his character is in that, and the fact that he finally showed some balls, and they surprised people in that, but.
Yeah.
But
to me, those balls are perfect.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? No, I mean, like, he comes out, when Brian comes out, and by the way, here's the thing I noticed there, too. Brian got boos as well. You could hear some faint boos in the background in that. I mean, it's clear that I think even people are going to maybe get sick and tired of the Brian nostalgia a bit as well.
Yeah, maybe.
So now the company has this, conundrum right here now where it's, I don't know, do we put Brian in, I mean, let's be fair. It's going to be Reigns and Lesnar. The only debate is, do you add Brian and make it a triple threat match?
Kind of like last year.
Or do you just stay committed to a one-on-one match? I mean, that's really...
Right.
I mean, at one point... Here's the thing. Supposedly, the reason why they wanted to switch from Reigns' Big Show to Reigns versus Daniel Bryan is because Reigns, as no secret, has worked a very limited amount of singles matches in his career so far, which is why I keep making the argument. I don't think this guy is ready for primetime yet.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy could benefit from at least a couple more months. Like I said, SummerSlam at the latest, next year's Mania to finally...
That injury set him back, definitely.
Yes. But, he's going to face Brock. Brock's a physical beast.
Right.
You wrestle with Brock Lesnar, you're going to be stiff the next day.
Right.
I guarantee you, John Cena and Rollins have taken all those German suplexes.
Yeah.
And don't know, most of those Germans looked very, very nasty. There were a few times they almost landed on their heads in that.
Yeah.
So it's probably something. Coy's expecting a phone call. I said,
Let's go to the phones.
Hear him walking back to the pick it up,
but
slowly.
Yeah.
But
you know what I mean? No. So Brian had damn phone. Okay.
But anyway, so Brian,
we were on. See, damn phone made me lose the train of thought.
You were talking about Daniel Bryan.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you were about to say something.
Okay. No. I was saying Brock Lesnar is his physical presence in that.
Right.
The next closest guy on the roster that's been supposedly considered a physical guy is Daniel Bryan, and that has a lot to do, I think, with the fact that he supposedly gives some of the hardest kicks.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell when he's kicking somebody, he's kicking the shit out of them.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I mean, you can hear it too.
I mean, so I think so. Reigns doesn't, get intimidated by Brock German suplexing him a gazillion billion times at Mania.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Footsteps.
Yeah. This house sometimes, but no, but I'm pretty sure that one of the reasons why they had him face Bryan was because they want this guy to see. They want to see how this guy reacts to a physical, when they're wrestling a physical talent. Obviously, Bryan, like I said, not physical as in he's bigger than Reigns or anything like that, but physical as in he can be a stiff worker to work with.
Yeah, he's like a little bundle of energy by wrestling standards.
Yes.
I say that because I'm like 5'6", and but by WWE wrestling stand, those you mentioned the kicks too. Obviously, those look and sound painful to take. So yeah, I kind of follow up on that, but yeah. So anyways, Raw opened up with that promo with Roman Reigns, and again, it sounded like they were trying to have Reigns be a little more intense and be like, why should my status be up in the air after I won the Royal Rumble? Why should I have to beat Daniel Bryan and everything? And then he said how he was going to go on to beat Brock Lesnar by mistake, and then corrected himself after that. Daniel Bryan coming out and everything else. So Triple H, Stephanie McMahon come out and they make a match that Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns on the spot and have to face Big Show and Kane.
Yes.
You know, the guys in their mid-40s and whatever.
The guys that just will not go away.
Yeah. The what many people thought should have been the final four of the Royal Rumble too, you know, but
No,
yeah.
no. I never had
Well-
Big Show and Kane in the Final Four.
well, I guess
I had
guess
Bray.
it's true,
I had
yeah.
Bray and Dean, or maybe Dolph. in the Final Four.
Maybe what like a lot of people may have expected would have been the final. Maybe not Kane as much. Yeah, I mean, because again, I thought Bray Wyatt should have been in there too as the final, but
I'll grant you that. I would not be surprised Big Show would be in the final, but
yeah, maybe not Kane.
No. One's bad enough. Two, both of them.
Overkill.
It was over. And not to mention, like I said, as far as booking goes, the way that they just like threw so much young talent out, like it was yesterday's garbage. Like Ziggler, together. Gently out of the ring. Ambrose, gently. Bray, gently. Keep in mind, the Bray Wyatt that's supposed to be facing Undertaker at Mania.
Yeah.
You know, a guy who's near his 50s. That's who Bray's facing at Mania.
Yeah. So they made that match, and obviously there were shenanigans that would happen. So Triple H, in Triple H fashion, says, instead later on in the main event, you two guys are going to face Big Show and Kane, but with J&J security and none other than Seth Rollins, of course, who I guess we'll get into this later, but he had some interesting stuff going on outside. Outside of the ring.
You would say it took it kind of hijacked.
Meanwhile,
Raw a bit because it was gaining. It actually happened during the show, and it started getting traction pretty fast.
And I guess, I guess he really had to, keep his composure. I guess throughout the night, but I guess
because you really can't say he was having on Twitter.
So we'll get into that later on in the show. I guess after we breeze through the rest of Raw and whatever else coming up for Fastlane. That match was set up for later on in the night on Monday Night Raw, and this distraction would continue to be like a distraction throughout the rest of the show. I guess unfortunately, but anyways, I guess we'll cover this. We'll go by some of the things that happened in between that and the main event. You had a brief Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar shedding some light on, what they, basically, I guess what you would expect there. It doesn't matter who Brock Lesnar faces either way. He's gonna come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a big promo yet from Paul, but no. I mean, once again, it's gonna be sad when Brock leaves and Paul's probably going with him, and no more Paul Heyman promos to keep us entertained on Raw for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Paul Heyman definitely did a great promo. Like I said, Brock just staying there doing his usual shtick, just looking intimidating.
It's not rocket science, people.
So.
That's always goal is just look intimidating.
Yeah. So that was that. You had John Cena. Well, I guess Rusev and Lana, paying tribute to John Cena's career. Somewhat, I guess.
Rusev speaking plain English.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, haven't speaks in plain
I'm not gonna lie. For a guy for the first time actually cutting a promo,
it is,
as opposed to Lana cutting a promo for him, pretty much.
Right.
I didn't think it came off bad.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean,
like I said, then John Cena comes out with a shiner already.
Yeah.
Don't know where he got the shiner.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to know where he got the shiner.
Yeah, and if you remember last week too, like that right eye, that same eye, like he didn't have a shine or anything, but like it was like awkwardly like half closed the whole time. I remember, and I remember bringing that up last week. But yeah, this week he's got like a shiner. So they're factoring that in, and which obviously.
But he comes out, he's telling jokes like usual.
Yeah.
That stand-up comedian John Cena.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, initially he seemed intense, and then he got into the same old jokes, and which has been used before. For example, Lana has more balls than Rusev, and etc. So it turned into typical John Cena. Promoing there, I guess you could say, and but it led to
me, those balls are perfect.
Yeah, to me, then it led to a little brawl up on the ramp. John Cena basically, kind of saying, you want some, come get some, not in those words like that, but basically enticing Rusev to leave the ring and come beat him up, and that kind of happened a little bit. So that I guess that eye right now is going to be a factor for Rusev and Cena at Fastlane. So I guess in our predictions, maybe we'll bring up.
Like I
more
said,
of that,
it's going to be match one. I am almost confident that this is John Cena's opponent.
Yeah.
I know there's gonna be people sitting there, oh, but Rusev's not ready, and this is, it's the same people who, I remember when Dirt Sheets last year had it, it looks like Cena's gonna face Bray Wyatt. How's it gonna happen? Bray's just debuted. He's not even been in the company for a year. It happened. It was that was John Cena's opponent last year was Bray Wyatt. Yeah. So same thing this year. It's John Cena versus another up and comer again, pretty much. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens in Mania, but
yeah.
I just got a feeling that what's gonna happen is Rusev wins. Grant, here's the thing too. The belt apparently is on the line in this match.
Yeah.
There's been no mention of John Cena saying, "Gee, I want to win that. I want to win that U.S. championship." The first belt I won in my career, damn it! I want that belt back. Yeah,
it's so secondary to the fact that Rusev's never been pinned and that it's John Cena, the face of the company. Yeah. Taking on Rusev here, so that was pretty much that.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Ambrose, I guess lost in the shuffle here a little bit, taking on Curtis Axel.
The guy who keeps yelling now, the uncrowned Rumble winner.
Yeah,
I was never thrown over the top rope.
Yeah,
I definitely won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, which then led to Bad News Barrett up on the Titantron.
Yes,
with. What was it? BNZ, I guess like a little play on TMZ and yeah, Bad News Barrett is a little idea segment there. So he feuding for the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if nothing else, Ambrose goes. I guess we'll see what happens in the near future with those two guys. Yes. But yeah, that's where Dean Ambrose stands right now. I guess a little disappointing that he's, facing, for the Intercontinental Championship. But that's where he stands right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know I skipped over something that happened earlier on. I'm trying to think what else maybe we missed. I know there had to be. Well, obviously Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H calling Sting. And Sting
wanting an answer.
Sting doing some mind games, including bringing back fake Sting from WCW apparently.
Yeah.
Just having a guy walking in a Sting outfit just right behind Triple H pretty much, and then all of a sudden Triple H turns around, falls over, and boom, gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and up on the Titantron, basically, essentially.
I was loving the whole idea of Triple H wants an answer to Sting about Fastlane, wanting an answer for Fastlane.
Yeah.
It's going to be about him winning probably a challenge for a WrestleMania match. It was kind of hilarious. Also, the fact that the fans actually thought that Sting was going to show up in person at Raw. It's like, they're not going to do that a week before Sting's supposed to show up in person on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, they want you to order or at least try out the network because it's free this month,
It's free this month. Yeah. It's a free network.
Yeah.
For
once again,
February.
So yeah, they want you to do that. They don't want to give that away on Raw. Obviously,
no, of course not.
So yeah, we'll look forward to that at the pay-per-view, I guess. So yeah, that was pretty much that, and might have been. I mean, well, I guess Paige is now babyface. I guess
she's been a babyface for about the last couple of weeks.
I guess for the I guess to kind of at least bring something up about the Divas division.
Well, I'm almost convinced that AJ Lee's gone.
Yeah, I mean,
we've not heard a peep.
Yeah.
in months.
Yeah.
So I'm almost convinced that she's pretty much. If she's not, I don't know why they're keeping her off. I mean, unless she's suffering an injury or something like that, we're not aware of it. But I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, the true Divas division is in NXT.
Yeah.
Which
led
by Ric Flair's daughter Charlotte, who already is already impressive.
Right.
And I don't know. It was interesting to hear her comments over the weekend about how her goal is to main event a pay-per-view. She wants to she wants to main event a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean,
like a WWE pay per
WWE.
view.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I mean, they always say it goes high.
I mean, based off of what was it, NXT R Evolution?
Yeah, our Evolution
Yeah,
against Sasha
based
Banks.
off the match
Yeah.
she had there. I mean, in some cases, by match quality, that could easily main event.
But like I said, there's that. There was an Italian match that she had at NXT Takeover. There was the one that she had against Bayley as well at I believe NXT Fatal 4-Way. So I mean, she's been putting out class. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I mean, crazy. I mean, I think the biggest thing that happened to the Divas was that he had Trish Stratus and Lita close a Raw.
Right.
That was the main event of Monday Night Raw. Was
Yeah.
the Divas Championship match. It was Lita versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. You know, I remember watching on YouTube there. You have Jim Ross closing out the show with Lita winning the championship from Trish in Charlotte, North Carolina, you know, celebrating and that. Her music's playing in the background.
Yeah.
And Jim Ross going, "We'll see you next week, folks." And,
Yeah.
then the video fades. And it felt so bizarre because you never would assume that a division, which is pretty much just used as a bathroom break more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, it would ever main event a Raw. And then for her to come out and say, well, Michael's not just the main event of Raw, it's to main event a pay-per-view.
Right.
I mean, it could happen if they give them the time.
Right.
And, you know, that they give them NXT, maybe to show fans, hey, these girls can actually go in that. They can
Right,
actually perform and so on. But I think we got to wait. Not just for Charlotte to get called up. I think you got to wait for a lot of other people from that division. I mean, granted, when Emma got called up and she was kicking ass in NXT, she became a joke, and now she's back in NXT, thankfully.
Yeah.
So hopefully she can get some of that momentum back that she lost when she got to the main roster. So I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I guess the status right now of the Divas division.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, there was the handicap match that happened, which followed by Team Cena coming down again.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Rowan, the person who's just there. Like I said, don't be surprised a year from now that guy has a pink slip and he's out of the company.
Yeah.
There's nothing. He's got nothing. He's got no shot at anything.
Yeah.
And like I said, then they got BFFs Ryback and Dolph Ziggler. And like I said, the fact that they both went after Kane and Big Show, I'm calling it right now. That's probably going to be a WrestleMania match. It's going to be Big Show Kane against Ziggler Ryback in a tag team match.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, this isn't very important considering what happened, but, Seth Rollins took on Ryback earlier on in the night, which was, another shenanigans match. That didn't last very long.
It was a DQ finish.
Yeah.
Granted, 2 straight DQ finishes in the first hour in a row.
Yeah. So things looked pretty promising. But yeah, so later on in the night, the 5-on-2 handicap match.
Yeah.
Again,
like I said, Teams interfered. It came down to then JJ Security against Bryan and Reigns. Yeah, like I said, I knew that they were going to be teasing the deception and so on and that, and whatever.
And the whole thing of could Bryan and Reigns, work it out, and because obviously, earlier on in the night there was a little shove by Roman Reigns on Daniel because there's that incidental, high kick in the corner. Where Kane got out of the way and Reigns by accident took the hit and shoved Bryan. So, yeah, there was the whole idea of could that work out later on. And there was that interview with Renee Young where Daniel Bryan, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere Roman Reigns interjects and says, we're gonna make this work or whatever, and
like I said,
by the end of the night,
look, Bryan was gonna do something. Reigns comes in, gets the spear of a blind tag. Little stare down, blah, blah. Bryan looks like he's pissed off.
Right.
He ends up, shoving Reigns pretty much. Reigns just backs up and just spears the hell out of him pretty much. And that's something. Chorus of boos, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much that there. Obviously the Authority probably be happy about that, I guess. But, so that was, I guess that was basically Raw in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't that much really memorable, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, Rikishi's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they announced that.
Clearly, they are running out of names.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's got me irked a little bit, is that it's just Rikishi. It's not all the other characters the man's played in his career.
Yeah.
Not the Sultan, not Fatu.
Yeah.
Just Rikishi. Just the Rikishi character, which no offense, at best was a mid-card
Right.
talent.
Yeah.
I mean, and keep in mind, all the footage they showed was of his time at Too Cool, and I think there's a brief moment where they showed him doing a drop from the cage on Velveeta, which I think is still very underrated.
Yeah.
Because if you ever watch that spot, he climbs to the top of a steel cage. This big man.
Yeah.
It's in the
Right.
center, Tyler. It's on the because in steel cages they usually have wiring on the sides.
Yeah.
And that's usually to help a guy if they go to the top, they can, balance himself in that. He's probably at the very top center of a cage here. This big man is. If he loses any balance, he's probably going to tumble off the cage.
Oh my God!
And he's able to hit a pitch perfect splash off of the cage.
Yeah.
I think it's an underrated oh my God moment, pretty much. I can tell you this. I know Venus was saying "oh my God" after Rikishi hit him pretty much with a splash. But I don't know. Like I said, at the end of the day, the WWE Hall of Fame is not a real Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Right.
There's nothing real. All it is it's if you're on Vince's good list, you're getting a Hall of Fame spot. That's all it really comes down to.
Yeah.
Or Triple H works out an agreement with you and that. There's no building. There's no peers that elect you.
Right.
I mean, it's not like the NFL Hall of Fame where your peers
You have physical. Yeah.
There's actual voting that happens in that. It's hey, Vince, you want to get in the Hall of Fame this year?
Yeah.
Well, let's see who worked for this company that we could get in and give him a spot.
Yeah.
And I had to say something. I think the reason he got the spot is because his kids are working with the company currently. Well, let's give Rikishi, and his kids are still working with the company.
Yeah.
They can induct him pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's like I think someone was joking here. It's like, well, what's next? Is Val Venus getting a Hall of Fame spot? Is the Godfather getting a Hall of Fame spot?
Yeah.
Or then at PG, Val Venus with the in the early goings with playing pretty much a model while you had the Godfather and always hoes pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we bring him up in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I guess we're talking about a guy who's somewhat known for cleavage at times. I guess
also another thing too. They didn't show any of his footage from when he turned heel briefly.
Yeah.
They did the whole I did it for The Rock.
Yeah.
I did it for the people, you know. I mean, granted, I get it. It was a failed heel turn. I think even Rikishi says multiple times there, he thought he was perfect as a babyface. Yeah. And to go from, like I said, from Too Cool to dancing to attempted murder on another wrestler, pretty much, storyline wise. And actually, if you recall that storyline, Rikishi was so not taken seriously as a bad guy that they had to call an audible, and they had Triple H go, who I think was babyface at the time, turn heel and say, Rikishi might have ran you over, Austin, but it was my plan all along. Yeah. I'm the mastermind.
Yeah.
And so then pretty much they turned it from Rikishi. Oh, it was Rikishi that did it to Triple H actually was the person that did it, and so on.
Yeah.
So
we talk. We talk about one guy who's also somewhat known for cleavage. I guess talk about I guess Seth Rollins in the saga. I guess before we we'll close with our predictions.
Yes, for both shows, because I think you can actually watch the NXT show on Wednesday this week.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't see it live,
I think our evolution has made you a believer in this in that product.
In the NXT, yeah. Now, So we hinted earlier how in case it's like news to anybody. I don't know. Obviously it's everywhere now. If you follow anything on the internet with wrestling, the whole, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it scandal or whatever, but supposedly somebody hacked into Seth Rollins' Twitter account and posted nude selfies of what was Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins is engaged. And
What was it also scandalous photos of his fiance as well, I believe?
Yeah.
Was it his fiance or ex-fiance?
Well, one of the divas. Okay. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this, but I know, obviously you have some idea of what happened.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I know social media exploded. Is what it was.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, hey, maybe should we just go to Seth Rollins' Twitter account right now? There's some weird pictures going up.
Yeah, I mean, and there were articles coming out like the title, like one of them was titled, Wrestling 0, Seth Rollins' penis 1, and just all kinds of articles blew up after this and everything.
Well, actually, it was kind of funny too. Someone cropped the picture. It was WWE.com.
Yeah.
Apparently, when you go to WWE.com and you click on the wrestler page, they actually show their Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there are those photos on WWE.com, which should make that company very happy when that's happened.
Yeah, I mean,
got kids searching the web, and all of a sudden,
it was
said, "Mommy, I can see Seth Rollins' wee wee."
Yeah, it's just now it's only for a short window of time.
Yes.
Because obviously, quickly WWE acted upon this. Because somebody, and I mean, like I don't like.
I mean, I feel bad for the guy. His account clearly was hacked.
Yeah, I mean, somebody is in big trouble here.
I'm so glad the company did not. Suppose he's not going to punish the guy. I don't know why they would. He's a victim of a hacking incident. Clearly.
Now, I mean, you got. My advice is you got to be careful. You watch what you do because, again, I mean, apparently, Rollins is engaged to somebody, and this is, well, obviously, naked selfies of Rollins himself and a diva from NXT. I forget. What was it Zahara something?
Yeah, and maybe.
I don't know. So that could be a bad situation here. At least as far as Seth Rollins' relationship status goes. But yeah, supposedly WWE is not going to punish Rollins for this.
No, he was clearly a victim of a hack.
Yeah. Now, I mean, again, maybe avoid doing selfies like that in the first place.
Well, let's be fair, Tyler. Private stuff that went public.
No pun intended.
He was not intending to go. I mean, it's almost like the nude selfies that leaked online. Remember, like Jennifer Lawrence, all those actors that took kind of naked selfies on themselves privately, put it on like a SoundCloud, something like that, and someone hacked the SoundCloud and their accounts and posted them all on the internet.
Yeah, I mean
hacking just is to turn to like a new fad pretty much on the internet.
I mean that's a sad inconvenient truth of the internet too. I mean these days, I mean some people have nothing better to do, I guess, than hack people's accounts and do stuff like this. But yeah, I mean whether it was maybe somebody not doing their job at on the WWE Twitter staff or whatever, I don't know, but somebody could is in big trouble, I guess, out of this, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Rollins issued an apology. I had an article up on my phone, and I mean, I think Triple H chimed in on this a little bit.
It was during the NXT conference call. It got which I'm sure is what he wanted to hear was. I might just say you had to expect at least one Seth Rollins question.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, no. He brought it up during an NXT conference call, plugging the pay-per-view pretty much, or the special event on the network.
Yeah. So again, I mean, according to PW Insider and multiple other sites, Rollins, he appears to be in zero hot water with WWE management, as they feel his accounts were hacked. This became more evident when Rollins first deleted the photos in question. And then they were reposted, meaning Rollins was most likely not the one responsible for the tweets, obviously.
Unless he had career suicide in mind.
Right, I don't know.
I don't know why he would. He's in a pretty safe spot in the company right now.
Yeah. So,
Man's got to know his limitations.
following Raw last night, WWE sent a memo to employees and talents instructing them not to bring the subject up publicly, as it would be insensitive to Seth Rollins. So I guess Seth Rollins' official apology was, I would like to apologize to all the WWE fans and my family and friends for private photographs that were distributed without my consent, etc. Also, during a conference call, Triple H addressed the Seth Rollins social media situation by saying he has issued an apology for the incident, which remains an unfortunate personal situation for Rollins, whose real name is Colby Lopez.
Yes.
Yada yada. So that was pretty much the article there. Now I guess his current fiance. I don't know if they're going to be fiancés after. It doesn't seem like it. I guess then proceeded to post nude selfies herself, and it was on. So I mean it was and apparently like she didn't like her Twitter feed has been inactive for several years. I remember
Yeah.
reading somewhere, and so I don't know. I guess out of revenge there. I mean,
Actually, I think as soon as that got reported, I think she took her page down like almost immediately.
yeah. I mean,
Almost like
I don't know if that's it's not a good way to
almost-
retaliate, but
well,
I guess
and I think she starts. I think she realized quick, like, that's
not a good idea.
not a good idea.
Yeah,
Because I remember like people posted the link up to her page, and so you click
Yeah.
it. It says like this page is currently inactive, blah blah blah, and so
Yeah.
on. It's like, okay, well, did it take too long for her to change her mind?
yeah. So yeah, I mean and I mean again, I mean the whole people screen capping this thing. So
Any chance if he has a match at Fastlane, or forget that at maybe Mania that a selfie chant breaks out maybe.
yeah, I would imagine that'll be very likely to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, so yeah, his fiance I guess took his or her own Twitter page down after that, and yeah, I mean it was again, I mean it's not something that you want to be doing obviously, and again, I mean WWE, it looks like they really tried to quickly, I guess, rectify the situation. Obviously,
rectify.
Yeah, I guess got another no pun intended moment there. But again, I mean, once this stuff happens, I mean, I guess people are gonna screen cap this kind of stuff, and
the memes will be coming.
right? Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll be everywhere.
Memeing everything is pretty much a fad of the internet. I would say also as well.
Yeah.
That and funny photos.
Yeah. So
apparently, cats. Apparently, taking funny photos of cats is a big thing now. Also.
Yeah.
I don't know how the cats feel in those photos, but apparently.
Yeah. So
was it one point the popular fad was like cats had their head stuck in a slice of bread?
Yeah, or so I don't know.
Like something that's stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure the chants and the memes, or however you say that, will be circulating around. And yeah, I mean, and of all weeks for something like this to happen, it's the week leading up to Valentine's Day of all weeks. I mean, again, it's just like that kind of strange coincidence, and yeah, I mean we'll see what kind of effect that may have on I guess Seth Rollins and his fiance's relationship status after this. But I guess as far as his, he's not in hot water as far as the WWE superstar goes. So, but yeah, I guess the pictures are in circulation somewhere as people want to screen cap that stuff and put it out there. So it's but I guess again, a word of advice, I guess. Definitely really think that through, I guess, before you, if for those who may, want to take selfies like that, I guess, again, you never know. The internet is dangerous these days, and that's, this situation really proved that. And sometimes, nothing like that is safe. And even if something quickly gets deleted, like even from this Twitter feed, I mean, it's still out there, in some way or another. And that's, some people, they don't have much, I guess, better stuff to do with their time. So, I guess that pretty much covers that situation for now.
Yeah.
So that's that. I guess we're on to the predictions then.
Okay.
For Fastlane.
Well, I don't know. Let's start with NXT. Let's start with the show that's tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, the A show is where
yes. It's clearly going to be the best show.
Yeah.
Since Fastlane only has 3 confirmed matches so far. Granted, I can already kind of guess some other matches that might be happening. I'm gonna let's see. NXT Takeover Rivals is what this one's being called. 6 matches so far. I actually would be fine with the 6 based on the matches.
Yeah.
Let's start with Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze. This just started I think a week ago.
Yeah.
After Itami was was getting interviewed about after losing to Finn Balor in a NXT Takeover Number Contender tournament match. And all of a sudden, Tommy's about to say something, and all of a sudden, bam, Tyler Breeze attacks him out of nowhere, where it says, like, you lost to Finn Balor? I could beat Finn Balor! Something like that. So it's a simple feud. It's just I guess hell it gives these two guys a chance to get in the mat on the card. So let's see. This is a tough one here though. I'm gonna go with Tyler Breeze. He's kind of been not featured a lot recently there, which I think is a shame. Guy's very talented. I think he did some of the best super kicks too. I think he's like if there's a guy I think who can compete with Shawn Michaels super kicks, I think Breeze is that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, he already is copying Shawn Michaels anyway. He's singing his own theme song. Just like Shawn Michaels did back in the day. I mean, so Breeze against Tommy, I think Breeze is going to beat a Tommy. I think it's going to be a hell of a match, too.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I mean, I'm not as up to speed with this, but and I mean, again, part of that maybe due in part because, WWE, they don't say a whole lot about that. Like, check out what's going to happen.
Well, they actually plug the event a lot on commercials.
Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah.
I mean, Grant, I kind of wish that they did what they did that for NXT Fatal 4 where they had the four guys in the main event come out and do a tag team match quick. Because that way then you're showing a Raw crowd, hey, 4 future guys. Tyson Kidd was in that match too. And so let's say 3 future guys and a veteran that's just done NXT to try to rebuild his character up a bit. Yeah. Since, the company does such a great job with some of these other guys in the card. I don't know. I actually enjoyed that there because I remember when Neville came in, a lot of people was like mouths dropped with how athletic the guy was in that. Yeah. But no, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Breeze over Tommy.
All right. I mean, I'll watch. I mean, when I watch this pay-per-view, I mean, I'll kind of, I guess, be watching it with like no creative direction in mind, like Fastlane or Royal Rumble or the big WWE pay-per-views. I guess it's like for me, it's a pay-per-view. I can sit back and I guess just enjoy what's going on. Enjoy, these up-and-coming guys that have a lot of talent and show a lot of promise. So, even I don't have the predictions or ideas of what might happen after that. But yeah, so that's my take. I don't really have any predictions here, unfortunately.
Okay. Let's see. Bull Dempsey, Baron Corbin, no disqualification match. I'm gonna go Corbin. Corbin clearly is this guy that they want to push. He's a big guy. Yeah. I'm just curious how long this match is going to last here because they've been really making Bull Dempsey getting killed by Corbin a lot. But Dempsey's supposed to be this powerhouse, so is Corbin. It's being like hyped up as 2 big guys going against each other in that. But I'm going to go with Corbin. I think he's clearly the guy that they're pushing. Tag Team Championship, the former champion, the Lucha Dragon, Sakara, Kalisto against the new champions. It's Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, the new Tag Team champions. I don't see why they Murphy and Blake drop the belts right away. I'm going to go with them retain the belt over the Lucha Dragons. Fatal 4-way match for the Women's Championship. Looking forward to this one.
Oh, yeah, that should be interesting.
Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley Lynch. I'm going to go with Bayley. I think this is where she finally gets the big win finally. Yeah. So I think she beats Charlotte.
Okay.
Like I said, looking for. Once again, this is a show stealer because really almost any match Charlotte's in is going to be a classic. And now you got, Sasha Banks who she beat at the last one, and then Bayley who she beat at the following one, and Becky Lynch kind of still young in the roster, but she's really like gained her own as far as characters going at. So I think I'm looking forward to this Fatal 4-way, and I don't think Charlotte gets pinned. It's Fatal 4-way, so the champ doesn't get the pin, lose the belt. Right. I think Bayley pins Sasha Banks, and she gets the belt finally. Now a contender match between Adrian Neville, the former NXT champion, and Finn Balor. Neville's going to get called up to the roster soon. It looks like he's going to be the next guy getting called up. Hopefully they don't screw up his run to the roster.
Right.
Like I said, I hear this rumor about a Mighty Mouse gimmick. The one thing that's going to irk me is if Neville gets called up and immediately they make fun of how big his ears are.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you ever seen Neville there. He has it's like, oh, he's like, but look at those Dumbo ears, right? It's like,
yeah, I could see them doing something like that.
I can see that. Why not? This company has made fun of what Jim Ross's weight for how many years on commentary, and that was an announcer.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I can just see Vince say, no one's gonna take this guy serious. Oh, he's athletic. Look at those big ears. Who's gonna take him serious? Yeah. So based on the fact that Neville's probably gonna get called up soon. Hell, maybe he's going to debut finally on the Raw after Mania. Though I have been hearing rumors they might do an NXT special match for Mania maybe this year.
Oh yeah,
which I'm not going to complain.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, even if it was just for the pre-show, it gives it gives once again these guys a chance to shine slightly a bit. I mean, I understand that NXT they usually wrestle matches during fan access. I know that, but I'm fine with them having a spot in the card. It might add more to the card, maybe.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective. I'm going to go Finn Balor. He's really become turning into a favorite with and without the body paint.
Yeah.
Though I'm pretty sure since this is a special, he'll have the body paint on, which means he'll be psyched up as hell pretty much. So I'm going to go Finn Balor, become the number one contender. And then the match I've been looking forward to, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. These guys, real life friends, Ring of Honor together. They've had how many matches together pretty much?
Yeah.
I mean, Owens has only been, I think, in NXT for I think barely a month too, and he's getting a title shot all the way off the bat. So if you want to show how high they are on Kevin Owens, you know, how much they look at this guy as an it factor. I mean, I think that shows it right there. You know, Zayn, once again, this likable babyface. He's just a very likable babyface in that. And so on. I really hope before they show this match, I hope they show that video package that they showed at the end of the last NXT show on last Wednesday. Because it's one of the best video packages I ever saw. It shows actual footage of these guys as kids hanging out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it really shows you, you know, and you know, you have Kevin Owens, who's, you know, he's the heel, but he's making the argument about how, you know, I got a family. You know, I'm not like Sammy. You know, I'm not on my own. I had a family to take care of here. So why did I attack Sami Zayn? For my family, you know, because he says, you know, I just got to WWE, you know, because he talks about how, you know, originally me and Zayn was supposed to go into the company together, and he ended up going 2 years ahead of me.
Yeah.
You know, and I finally show up here. I'm not gonna get the spot, you know, see the spot. I'm gonna reach for that spotlight right at the bat. So what a better way to do it than attack the champion on the first day?
Yeah.
On your debut night, and you know, he says like, you know, how, hey, you win that belt. It might be a development belt. That's extra money. That's extra paycheck. That's extra food on the table for my family to provide. I mean, let's get a heel, but giving you that moment there about how he might be full of shit with these comments here, but he's actually like telling you, hey, he might actually have justification for his actions, maybe. So, you know, I'm gonna go with this. I think Kevin Owens beats Sami Zayn. I think there's money. I think this is gonna be a long feud.
Yeah. That's
the rumor, at least I've been hearing. And there's more money in a chase between a babyface and a heel. And, you know, look, Zayn just won the belt. He just accomplished the dream. He won the belt fight. He won the big one, Tyler.
Right.
Then to have it get crushed in a month, pretty much. Perfect storytelling, I think. I think Owens beat Zayn.
By his, you know, best friend.
Best friend, nonetheless. Who just arrived, you know, and even Owens says, and the problem with it, he says, you want to make a statement? Win the belt a month into your debut, pretty much. That's a statement there about who you are as a performer, pretty much. So I think Owens shocks the world. I think Owens beats Zayn.
Yeah.
And I think the feud's not over by a long shot. I think the rest of the year it might be Zayn chasing the belt, maybe.
Yeah.
Granted, I think Finn Balor is the next guy to challenge Owens, probably. Which I'm not going to complain. Prince Devitt against Kevin Steen. It's going to be a great match.
Yeah. Seems like if WWE ran the main roster like this on Raw and everything, we'd have nothing to complain about.
Well, look, I mean, Triple H said he likes to simplify Raw. I mean, he even says that he's even script promos for these guys. Well, he wants to let these guys go out there and try to
show it themselves. And,
well, you know, to feel who's their character, what does their character stand for? What you know, what's the reason why their character does what they do in that? You know, he says you can't feed them lines because you don't even know what these guys are capable of in that. Yeah. So how are you gonna know what they're capable of as far as promo work goes if you don't even let these guys speak freely for once in that? And so that's where he does that there. He says, you know, but he says, look, but that's going to change to get to the main roster because, you know, we
feed lines to sit down interviews. And...
Well, I mean, Austin asked him that question there, and he said, it's just because you don't trust these guys when we get to the main roster. It's like, George goes, yeah, we don't. Yeah. We got sponsors to adhere to that, you know. Yeah. You know, God forbid someone goes out and brings up their political views or this view on this company and that, who's a sponsor for Raw. Yeah. And next thing you know, they jump ship because their talent, you know, just said something negatively about this company and that. So I can see from a company standpoint why I still think it sucks. I still think the fact that you can't let these guys, you know, Grant George did bring up the fact that, you know, some guys use bullet points, some guys, you know, have to get fed a script word for word. Yeah. I mean, there are variables between, you know, as far as Raw and depending on the talent and
like John Cena, you know.
It's not all the same in it. It's like they're all getting fed it's like it's script, but it might be different depending on
Might
what
be
their
more,
preference
yeah,
is.
might be more detailed for some guys, and
But NXT is supposed to be a very simplified.
Right.
It's supposed to have these guys get ready, Tyler. For
Right,
So
yeah.
at the end of the day, George said, no matter how much he wants to get NXT over as a program, it's still a development league. It's still the minors.
yeah,
The goal should always be get to the majors.
yeah,
No matter how intimidating the majors might be, or if is it even worth going to the majors,
Yeah.
it's still a development program. No matter how great or
Yeah.
over it is, and that. Like I said, he also he gears it towards hardcore guys because he says the bulk of subscribers are hardcore fans usually.
Yeah.
So he wants he's got it. You got to garner to your demographic. It's a different demographic from the main roster demographic.
right.
So I mean, but like I said, I'm looking forward to this show. I'm definitely there's maybe 3 matches. Actually, I think I gotta say this. I think all 6 matches on the card have a great chance to be great. The only one who maybe might be short maybe is Corbin against Bull Dempsey. That's about it. But I'm actually looking forward to all the matches on this card. I'm looking forward to this show.
Yeah.
They got a lot to love to after the great R Evolution product.
Right. Yeah.
So now we get to the B show
Unlike, yeah.
on Sunday.
Unlike that, yeah. Which I guess we have like 3 matches set in
Confirmed.
stone.
But let's be fair. Let's throw in a tag team match pretty much for the belt.
Right, yeah.
A Intercontinental Championship match probably. You know what? After watching Raw, I'm gonna guess Rollins, Big Show, Kane versus Ryback, Rowan, and Ziggler in a 6-man tag.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna. Might not happen.
I mean,
I'm just gonna go for it.
I mean, as far as like Big Show and Kane goes, I mean, it seems like they try to utilize them as often as they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere on the
Like I
card.
said,
So,
not to mention Rollins not being on the pay per view. Come on, he's gonna be on the pay per view in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know. I guess as a case, I'm gonna go with the Authority over Team Cena.
right. Yeah.
Like I said, because I think they're trying to keep Rollins. Although, to be honest, I would not be surprised if Randy Orton returns that night and finally attacks Rollins and sets up that Mania feud right off the bat. If not, then it has to be the following night on Raw.
Yeah.
They gotta get. It's 6 weeks left now, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta start pushing this event.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I thought about something with Bray Wyatt, but I'm like, just say up for Taker. But do you have Taker come back at Fastlane? Do you have him tease at Fastlane?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's clear that's who they're going with because now Bray Wyatt's latest promo is about the afterlife.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw that.
How much can you write about Undertaker without mentioning Undertaker by name in that? It's like it's Undertaker and Bray Wyatt at Mania. So we'll see what happens there. I'm kind of still iffy on that just because, I mean, no offense. Once you lose the streak, there's really not a whole lot you can look forward to an Undertaker match at Mania. What's Taker back? What? Because
he doesn't have much to gain, really.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, what's the gain? Come on, Brady does not mention Taker by name. He's never called him out. He's never, tried to, So why would Taker have any interest in fighting Bray Wyatt then? Because what? Because they're both weird.
Yeah,
they're both supposed to be these weird characters in that. I mean, like I said, I don't understand why they're feuding. Because originally the goal you wanted to fight Taker because he's got this undefeated streak. You want to be that one guy.
If Lesnar did not beat, totally different story than Bray Wyatt against that'd be huge.
Bray's job is to say, look, it's my destiny to end this streak here.
Right.
He could, I guess, hear him saying that in a promo, but there's no point really.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like always calling out Taker. It's like he hasn't brought Undertaker's name once in any of these promos. All he's saying is I can beat anybody living or dead. I can beat anybody.
Yeah.
I the afterlife in that. It's like he's teasing Taker. It's a tease towards Taker, whose opponent's going to be, but he's not exactly calling out like saying I can beat you, old man.
Yeah.
like you were the Lord of Darkness. I'm the new Overlord here. These people are no longer your followers. They're my followers now. Something like that. Like there's no real point anymore.
Right.
So I mean, once again, the only thing that would shock me is if Bray won and they start like this whole maybe. Geez, did Taker really start to lose his ability?
Yeah, it's like he's really a dead man now.
Because really he goes from undefeated streak to now he's on a 2-fight losing streak now. Does he start to believe that he's
a losing streak?
Exactly. The guy with the longest winning streak now is developing a losing streak. Yeah. So now since developing his head, is his time done then? And like I said, the next night maybe he's about to announce his retirement. All of a sudden, cue Sting's music, and all of a sudden Sting says, "Before you go though, you and me got to have this one match here.
Yeah.
And because I understand, my career is almost over too here, but you and me, we got to get this match, out of the way in that. I'm just saying, if Taker's gonna have a swan song, he's from Texas. Mania's in AT&T Stadium next year. It's gonna be one of the biggest attended Manias probably in the history of the company because of how many people they can fit in AT&T Stadium.
Right.
Because it's easily one of the biggest stadiums in the country.
Yeah.
I could see it. Taker win or lose, that's a swan song from Texas, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's his way of leaving the company.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, that's my prediction. In that, I mean, once again, I think the fact that he's facing Bray Wyatt, that's pretty much summing up in that.
Now, if that was like, for instance, his swan song match in Dallas, Texas, I think I brought this up before. Like, it'd be cool then if like he kind of went back to his American Badass gimmick. I mean, not that it'd be likely, but
because I've been hearing people say that Vince was never a fan of that gimmick.
Right? Yeah, but I mean, it would be cool though if But
not to mention, Tyler, how much can you go back from Dead Man to I'm a biker?
Yeah, I mean,
once again, it
slowly phased.
It was unique in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, which is the years he had the biker gimmick. Pretty much, it was unique. It was a new perspective on the guy.
It was a little more,
It felt like you were seeing more of us, a character that Mark Calloway developed, more of the real Mark Calloway. Because, he does ride motorcycles in real life.
You had a little more Mark Calloway.
He does wear a bandana in real life. And, I mean, granted, he's got a lot of white hair now in real life, too.
Yeah, when he doesn't dye it.
I'd be interested, too. Is he going to actually bring out white hair now when he comes back?
Yeah, it's
to actually show his age, his true age now.
Kind of like Kevin Nash,
No, because I remember, no, you're not wrong. Because I remember when Nash was negotiating with Vince one time about leaving TNA and going to WWE, Vince said, "Okay, you can, but you gotta dye your hair. You can't look too old on television, especially if you're gonna be wrestling." And Nash is kind of said, I don't really want to do that because I want to actually look naturally at like my age on television. I want to show fans that I'm getting old. I'm not young anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do stuff I used to be able to do in the ring. But no, like I said, for me, I'm not really looking forward to a Bray Wyatt Taker feud because it's really, why are they fighting?
Yeah, again, I mean the streak is gone now. And
nothing Bray Wyatt has said has really made me come to the conclusion that he pissed Taker off clearly. He's clearly calling out this old man here, to have a match in that. And it's like he hasn't acknowledged his name. All he says is referencing to I can be anybody living or dead, and that it's like okay. He also said the word living in there, so it could be someone who's alive technically as far as characters go. I mean, he's not saying like, I could beat this dead man in that. He's not specifically calling out Taker. He's acknowledging Taker pretty much.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have no interest in seeing this match right now. Maybe they could change that. 6 weeks, they could probably do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but
I mean, Tyler, keep in mind, the CM Punk Taker feud started after Punk won a fatal 4-way match.
Yeah.
The worst way you could have somebody challenge Taker is he has to beat 3 other guys in a match to face Taker.
Yeah.
And you know what? Granted, they might have lucked out a bit from Paul Bearer's untimely death as well.
Yeah.
And Punk being the genius that he is, all of a sudden saying, I could be a really douchey heel now.
Yeah.
And metaphorically use the urn, which is supposed to be the symbolism of Paul Bearer, pretty much, and rub ash over my body, Mania. I mean, like I said, they really benefited from that happening. I mean, I know that sounds so fucked up because the fact that the man actually died.
Yeah.
I mean, the man's actually dead.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, his kids were okay with it. The family's okay with it. It's part of the character. It's part of the gimmick.
Story, yeah.
It really did add into the story there too, in it, So I mean, like I said, there's still hope yet. We got 6 weeks to hype up that match, but I really have no desire to see Bray Wyatt against the Undertaker in a match.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, again, the whole streak thing's gone, and again, if they were to have this and then Bray Wyatt wins, then it's like, it's just a sign that Undertaker's done, and theoretically, if he comes back to wrestle every year, I mean, eventually. He just maybe Undertaker would be 21-21 if he gets, at this rate. So, it'll come off as one of those things.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, getting back to the pay-per-view, like I said, just predicting the matches that had not been confirmed yet. But I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that's going to happen.
Possibilities and yeah.
Not to mention segment. Sting's going to finally speak.
Right.
They're going to have a match at Mania. Yeah. Blah blah. Probably going to go 30 minutes. 15 of that minutes is going to be Triple H just trying to punk Sting out pretty much.
Yeah.
Then maybe a 5-minute tease. Then Sting finally comes out. It makes it. They're gonna milk that angle for all it's worth, Tyler. Right now. It's gonna be a very big focal point.
Might start off with like a 5-minute stare down.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That was the one criticism of Sting's debut. That stare down took forever.
Yeah.
Like, you were waiting forever to hit the man. It took forever. And it's like you have poor Ziggler and Rollins down there. They're supposed to play dead for like that long.
Yeah.
You know, supposed to sell finishers for that long. And once again, just to have, Ziggler get his body, dragged across by Sting on top of Rollins, and Rollins still gets pinned after that long of a wait. Yeah. Like I said, that's the only flaw about that ending. That being said, that was a fine debut. But okay, Brand News Barrett against Dean Ambrose for the Colin Championship.
Yeah, I would assume Bad News Barrett will hold on to the belt here.
There's no point having Dean win in a Colin Championship.
Yeah, again, since and
once again here, they're clearly building up to this guy's heel turn eventually, and I think the only way to get there is that Dean goes on a losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, he's been kind of on a losing streak as far as pay-per-views.
Like I said, you want this guy to pull off a big heel turn, you have him either the night after the Raw after Mania or WrestleMania itself. He comes down to Roman Reigns after he wins the belt.
Yeah.
Reigns is celebrating. Confetti is coming down. He won the big one finally. Dean Ambrose come out. You think it's going to be his former Shield guy. He's going to congratulate him. And all of a sudden, boom, dirty deeds.
Yeah.
Cue Seth Rollins music. Rollins comes rushing down to the ring, cashes in, steals Reigns' moment. Because, like I said, I mean, right off the main roster, who's Reigns going to feud with after he wins the belt?
Yeah, there's no heels.
I mean, maybe Bray, if he beats Taker, you can make that argument. He beat the dead man.
I wouldn't mind that.
You could do Rollins. Especially if he cashes in the Man in the Big Briefcase. You got a rematch clause in there.
Yeah.
If Dean turns heel, you definitely got a feud there building up then.
Yeah.
As of right now, who's Reigns going to... Because the heel side is very thin. It's very thin right now. They need more guys over there.
Yeah.
So, once again, another reason why I think... Well, if Brock definitely leaves, they got to start building new heels up.
Yeah.
I mean, once again here, one of the reasons why I think Owens wins at NXT is because I think Owens might get called up within a year to the main roster. I think he's that over. He's that good at his job.
Yeah.
That you can easily move... Not to mention, he's a big guy. He's very athletic for a big guy, too. But he's a big guy. He can... His promo work is amazing. He's got almost all the attributes that they... Everybody got to understand. Daniel Bryan was only down and development, I think, for maybe a month before he got called up for the NXT show, pretty much. So, some of these guys have to be down there for a year.
Right.
And Owens is already selling supposedly a shitload of merchandise.
Season,
I mean, it's supposedly so much that the WWE management's impressed with the guy.
Yeah.
Granted, his merchandise looks badass too. I mean, I would buy some of those shirts, but it's just like I would not be shocked if you bring Cole Owens up. I mean, it's like Cole Owens, Kevin Owens up, and and all of a sudden he gets thrown into the main event scene very fast because his gimmick could still be, look, I'm here to fight people. Yeah. I'm here to beat people. I'm here to make statements. Yeah. I made a statement in NXT by winning the belt a month in. I can make a statement in the main roster by going straight for the champion right off the bat. Yeah. Because I'm not afraid of I don't believe in waiting for your moment. I believe in taking that moment and making it your own pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what his promo said. Is that he's not a guy that's gonna wait for his shot. He's gonna take the shot. He's gonna, no offense, reach for that brass ring. Yeah. And get as high as he can, pretty much.
Like Lesnar said the other week ago, he's like a freight train. Get out of my way, people.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, with Brock gone, Owens I think is the perfect monster heel you can push.
Yeah,
he's got his moveset. His moveset has got that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he just killed that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
If they did that, I wouldn't complain. Obviously, if they pushed him right away, especially if he's a guy that's ready, and especially when the heel side
is very thin right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's like I think Owens can can easily rise to the top of the heel division.
Yeah.
Because there's barely anybody there right now.
Yeah.
It's a very small pool of talent that you can easily jump ship, I think.
Yeah.
I think when you get over there. I mean, honestly, if you're in this company right now, if you're a babyface, you got a lot of competition.
Yeah.
A lot of competition for that
we
spot.
See that, yeah.
If you're a heel, it's a little less competition. Yeah. You can easily get to that top very fast.
Just ask Dean Ambrose, right? Yeah. For instance.
Because like I said, he goes straight from mid-card babyface to top main event heel as soon as he turns heel. Because of how thin both sides are.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of where initially we thought Dean Ambrose would be anyways. Yeah. Not that he can't make a good babyface, but, going back to the Shield days. I mean,
I don't care what the company's been doing with Kane and Big Show. Those guys have got to step aside eventually.
Yeah.
You can't keep putting those guys out there as top heels.
Yeah, you can't have,
I'm sorry, Corporate Kane, no one takes the guy seriously anymore. And people have stopped taking Big Show seriously years ago.
Yeah. You can only do, Roman Reigns versus Big Show on so many occasions until it's just...
I said, and God help us if that's Reigns' first feud after Mania. Yeah. If it's Big Show and Reigns, because it's not going to be Brock. If Brock's gone, there's no rematch. If Brock's lost the belt, he's left.
He's gone. Yeah.
His swan song, the company's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I got to go with that. So I'm going to go with Bad News Barrett winning, and I think they're going to start teasing Dean Ambrose heel turn at that point.
Yeah.
Tag team championships, we can assume it's going to be the Usos against Tyson Kidd and Cesaro.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Usos winning.
Yeah, given that it's a free pay-per-view, too, I'm not expecting any, title changes of these belts that are on the line, so...
Let's see.
Rusev and Cena won.
Yeah, because a rematch is coming at Mania, and it's probably going to be a third match at probably Extreme Rules then.
Right.
U.S. titles on the line, Grant. Supposedly it's on the line.
Yeah.
There's been no mention of it by these two gentlemen over the belt.
Yeah.
Once again, because I know Cena's gonna beat him at Mania.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Rusev winning here. It might be via shenanigans. I don't care.
It's gonna be Cena's got the eye problem right now.
Exactly. He's got a weakness.
They're already setting it up here.
Yeah. That eye's gonna play a factor probably in the match probably.
Yeah, that'll.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Rusev winning this one. But like I said, Cena's.
It could be something,
I'm telling you, he's gonna have a convoy of military personnel for his entrance to Mania. He'll probably come out in a Jeep. Maybe he'll don the Captain America outfit.
Yeah, who knows?
Or better yet, he'll don the Superman cape and maybe fly to the ring little way. I mean, he's gonna be Mr. America at WrestleMania. Yeah. And then he'll beat the evil Russian, actually evil Bulgarian, whose Russian is not eyes are giant, who's actually Polish. And end the streak and end Rusev's reign. Maybe take the U.S. Championship. Don't know what that means for Cena. It's on the line. But you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go with Rusev wins here, but Cena's gonna. Everybody called this a year ago. We said it's probably to be John Cena. We don't want it to be John Cena. It's probably to be John Cena. Yeah. For a while, maybe they might give it the ride back, but I'm telling you, it looks like him and Ziggler are BFFs now as far as tag teams go. So I'm going to go with Rusev wins this one.
Yeah, I go Rusev as well, obviously.
Paige against Nikki Bella. Who cares? I'm going with Nikki Bella over Paige.
Yeah, I don't. Again, if there's going to be a title change, probably WrestleMania if they're going to change, but not this.
I am still shocked at how fast they ditched the Bella feud.
Yeah,
and it shocks me here because Brie when she wrestled yesterday still did like the whole Brie mode chant like Brie. Yeah. It's like you're a heel now.
Yeah,
you don't do chants.
Yeah,
but it's like not mention her theme song. God, it's so terrible.
Yeah, it is.
You hear that Brie mode,
that auto tune or whatever. Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Once again, it shocked me. Oh, great. I hated that Bella feud to begin with. I thought it took up way too much TV time, but still.
Yeah.
How do you just end it just like that?
It's just like
it's under the rug.
Yeah.
Those 6 months never happened.
Yeah. It's just
and that even includes that whole Stephanie feud that Brie did, which wasn't even a bad feud.
That match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. That wasn't even a bad feud or match.
Yeah.
Those 6 months never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it shows you they really like to question the intelligence of their fan base. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main event: Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, winner faces Brock Lesnar. It's gonna be Reigns. Although I would not be surprised if they find someone to get Bryan in a triple threat match.
It's like, well, nevertheless, I mean, Daniel Bryan,
And like I
gotta
said,
put him in.
maybe you get a double DQ, maybe a double count, maybe it's a no contest in that.
Yeah.
Maybe some shenanigans happens in that.
Yeah.
But easiest pick is Reigns wins, I think.
Right.
And then maybe they find something to get Bryan in. I still think it's still kind of pointless because at the end of the day, it's just a waste for Bryan. The results don't change. Reigns is winning the belt.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, unless they don't want him to pin Brock, which they would just be stupid.
Yeah.
So whatever. I think Reigns wins the match, faces Brock. Blah blah blah. Hate it, bitch about it. Like I said, you don't have to watch Mania.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, like I said, I mean, it's happening.
Yeah.
Reigns is the guy.
Yeah.
Love it, like it, hate it, whatever. He's the guy
to go on and beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, as he would as he initially said before correcting himself on Raw this past week.
Like I said, I really do not care about Fastlane. I think it's a waste of space.
I mean
So no,
it's just a carryover on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. And again, the A pay-per-view obviously being the NXT
Takeover Rivals
pay-per-view. So yeah, we'll discuss both of them as obviously that sounds like a prominent enough card to really pay attention to as far as that.
And hopefully
goes.
Raw steps up their game here for the first one.
Yeah,
they got 6 weeks to hype up Mania.
Right. Yeah. So whether that means surprise Randy Orton return or whatever, it'll be interesting to see what what they come up with on Raw after the pay-per-views this week, and then we'll discuss, as always, in the Great Wrestling Debate, as we'll then officially be on track for WrestleMania in just a matter of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in to the Great Wrestling Debate as always, and send your subscriptions our way.